Hey, what's going on YouTube? Xavier the Magnificent X here. I'm here at the library, and unfortunately I have to keep my voice down a little bit because there aren't any study rooms for me for the rest of the evening, and yeah, they're all booked for today. But nonetheless, I wanted to give another video. I know in the past I gave a top 10 underrated fragrance list along with an individual fragrance in the past, and I came up with a creative way of bringing underrated fragrances that don't give love in the community, but to give my style of reviewing a bit of a more refreshing edge. So without further ado, please join me in my first part of my new segment that I'd like to call 5 Underrated Fragrances. So let's start with the list. My first fragrance comes from the house of Antonio Puig. It is QUORUM Silver. Okay, QUORUM Silver is a fragrance that came out in the year 2005. It is a modern take to the original QUORUM that came out in the late 80s. And what you get with this is an aromatic spicy that opens up with a bit of bergamot, along with some ginger, a little bit of cardamom, along with some lavender and some mandarin. The opening is a little bit medicinal, but give this fragrance some time to develop on your skin. Trust me, everyone. I swear this scent gets better. Because as it gets into the heart, that's where the cinnamon and the nutmeg kick in. And that's where QUORUM Silver has it more of an edge to it. To kind of give it a bit of some bite, I should say. And where this fragrance really shines is in the base. And in the base, that's where the patchouli kicks in. And when it kicks in, it blossoms like a very beautiful flower. The patchouli gives off a very vibrant, slightly sweet, slightly green, with a very refreshing edge to it. And when people smell this on you, you will give off a very professional impression and will smell very professional. Highly recommended for the springtime and the post-summer months, especially right now when the weather is becoming a little bit cooler. This can be had for around $12 to $15, so get it if you can. QUORUM Silver at my first fragrance. My second fragrance comes from the house of Ellis, and it is none other than 360 Black. 360 Black, as you can see right here, is the flanker to one of the many flankers to the notoriously 360 for Men by Ellis. This fragrance gives off a lot of vibes of Drakkar Noir, which was my all-time signature scent in high school, but sadly now is junk because it's been reformulated. This fragrance, like I said, gives off vibes of Drakkar Noir, but with some more soapy undertones to it. And it's a slight soapiness. It's not a heavily soapy undertone. It comes off at the top with some tobacco, and you get the amber, the nutmeg with that, and later settles down with a smell of some suede along with a bit of basil to give it a bit of a freshness to it. The fragrance is a great compliment garner. I've gotten many compliments with this scent, and is a phenomenal signature scent for the fall and winter, and definitely will make my top signature fragrance list that I will make in the near future. So fragrance number 2 goes to 360 Black for Men by Ellis. My third fragrance comes from the house of Hugo Boss. It's from their Baldessarini line, and it's one of the highly overlooked fragrances in this line. And my man Chad, A Gentleman's Journey, reviewed this on an earlier video of his, and I decided why not honor it myself. I'm referring to Baldessarini's Strictly Private. Strictly Private, what you get out of Strictly Private is a very masculine, ambery, woody balsamic that is like I said, one of the most highly overlooked fragrances in the Baldessarini Hugo Boss line. Definitely doesn't get enough love in the community by any means. This fragrance is, at the top, is composed with a bit of bergamot, joined along with some juniper berries and some pink pepper along with that. In the mid heart turns into a more refined, sophisticated smell. And with that you get the sense of the resins, the rose, and a hint of patchouli. And at the base of this fragrance is phenomenal. You get the vanilla to resemble its predecessor, known as Private Affairs, but it also goes in its own direction with the amber and the creme brulee accords. And that's to give it a little bit of a flirty attitude, but still maintaining a bit of maturity for the most part. It's another great signature scent for the cooler, colder days that will get you many compliments, and this can be held. You can get this online for around $30 to $35. So, get a chance, snag this if you can, or a good deal on it. Strictly Private at number 3. My fourth fragrance, and just as a sidebar, these fragrances are not in any order, comes from the house of Reyanne, and this is for all the fans of the highly appreciated Pure Havane by Thierry Mugler. This is a Pure Havane with a more sexual edge, and honestly, I think it is the Pure Havane killer. I am talking about Reyanne's Insurrection Wild. What you get of Insurrection Wild is a more creamier, what you get is, with this fragrance, is a creamier, less dense, more aromatic version of Pure Havane. Okay, what does this smell like? Take the cherry, tobacco, and patchouli of Pure Havane, minus all the thick qualities. Take C.H. Men Privé, the creamy undertones of that, minus the tonka bean. Shake that those two fragrances in a bottle, and you'll come up with this fragrance. This fragrance is the creamy undertones. Back to the smell, gives this fragrance more of a classy and more sensual edge. And I have to tell you guys, it is a very high compliment getter, if not the biggest compliment monster on this list. Can be had for around $20 to $30 online, so a must-have definitely for the fall. Number 4, Insurrection Wild. My fifth and last fragrance is a fragrance that to me is criminally underrated. It has replaced Drakkar Noir as my favorite fragrance of all time. It is not necessarily a signature scent. I guess you can call it a signature scent, but it is considered the dark, brooding graveyard of fragrances, but with a bit of a more rustic edge to it. It is a fragrance that I believe that even the Grim Reaper would wear himself. And that's kind of why I'm wearing this t-shirt. As you can see, it's a pretty cool design. But anyway, I am not referring to Tom Ford's Noir. I am actually referring to John Varvatos' underrated scent, Dark Rebel. What you get is a dark, smoky, woody oriental that gives off a very brooding vibe, as I mentioned just earlier. It opens up with a dark, boozy vibe of Jamaican rum, and you get that with the cardamom and a hint of clary sage with it. And as it dries down, the leather, the pepper, and the styrax kick in to give it its masculine backbone. And the final base is where this fragrance turns more smoky and woody, where you get the tobacco leaf, the oud, and the juniper berries at the end to give it a little bit of sweetness, to kind of keep the smokiness from coming off skanky in any way. As far as compliments, everyone, I have to say and be honest, it's hit or miss, because the opening is very aggressive. You only need 2 to 3 sprays for this fragrance. You will get at least 2 hours of strong projection. Don't underestimate the power of this scent. It is a beast almost a beast at the top. This can be held, it retails for around $90, but you can get this for around $45 to $60 at your online discounter. So that's it, guys. That's my list for my 5 underrated fragrances. Let me know what you think of these fragrances in the comment section below. Do you like them, love them, hate them? Please feel free to let me know. Also, in case you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely appreciate you for it. That's for future videos and other future content. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning and watching in. I'm Xavier, the Magnificent X. Take care, be safe, smell great, and have a magnificent day. Bye.